Hello, I'm Rachel with Size Diverse Pilates. Today we're going to do a nice light flow of our level 1 work. All you need is a resistance band and a blanket of some sort. If you have a barrel, you can use that, but in most cases, I know a lot of people don't have barrels. So I have my yoga blanket here. It's a little bit small. What I highly recommend is that you get a king size quilt. Yes, a quilt specifically because it has a little grip to it. And with a king size quilt, then you can fold it in many different shapes and sizes. It can be much taller. You can lie it flatter and make a bunch of different shapes. So I highly recommend that. Also, for my larger body people out there, resistance bands that I really love to use are ones that are nice and thick here. This is probably about 3 inches or so tall. And then as far as the band, if you have a regular size band here, for some things that you want to do, it just may not be enough. What I highly recommend is you get one that's twice as long as this one. And if you have any trouble trying to find one of those, I know someone who can cut them and ship them to you. The reason for that is you may not have, if you're in a larger body, you may not have enough tension and length. So you may need to double up in some cases to help support your body. And the regular size bands, when you double them up, then aren't long enough for you to be able to work comfortably. So I highly recommend that you contact me. You can email me and I will set you up with someone who can get you a band that's long enough that you can fold it and still have the correct length. All right, so that's my little PSA because I want to make sure everybody has something that they can use that benefits their body. So we're just going to go a little bit slower in between. That way everybody has time to move between the exercises. We all know that Pilates is a lot of work anyway. So let's go ahead and fold that blanket up. The higher it is, the nicer it'll be. I'm going to do legs long, but you can have your feet in tent position. Tent position is feet down and knees bent. You're going to lie back on your mat. You're going to stretch your legs long or keep them in that tent position and place your heels on top of your blanket. While you're here, let's just take a couple of breaths because that's one of our fundamentals. We're just going to do a nice big inhale. Widen the ribs, start pressing air back into the mat. Exhale, waistband towards the mat. Nice big inhale again from the ribs. Nice big expansive chest. Really reach those lungs wide and back. And then exhale everything down into your mat. One more like that. Nice big inhale. And exhale. For 100, go ahead and reach the arms up. Your legs are already long. Nice press into here and try and activate the back side of your body. If your feet are on the mat, you can do the same thing. You can do this with your head down. Otherwise, you're going to take a nice big inhale. Exhale to curl up, bring the arms down. Start pumping as you inhale and exhale for 5. So we're inhaling for 5 and exhaling everything out for 5. Nice, wide, open shoulders. Your pumps can be, they can be nice and big if you want them to be. If you feel like you're bobbing your head at all, I highly recommend that you pause here and you can hold and just do the breaths here. This is a ton of work. Or you can inhale up for 5 and exhale down for 5. This tends to be a lot of work. You may need to put your head down for this variation. Keep yourself curled up. You're still pressing those feet in. And then go ahead and take yourself back. That was about 100. Go ahead and bring yourself up. If you have your TheraBand and you have a little trouble getting up, you can always wrap it behind your leg and use it to pull yourself up. Go ahead, you take your blanket and put it back behind you. This is just going to be, we're going to do a half rollback, and I want to make sure you have something behind you so that you have an idea of where you are in space. Wrap the TheraBand around the feet for your roll up, and let's have those legs bent for the first couple. That way you can stay with this when we go into our regular or full roll up here. So the tighter up on the band you go, the more support you're going to have. Nice wide shoulders again. You're going to reach the lowest part of your back toward the mat. And maybe you just touch where your blanket is, and then you get to come up and you're curling up. Let's do that 2 more times. Reach through the feet. Keep those shoulders nice and open. If you have the band, your shoulders might want to pull forward. Reach back and come forward. And as you can see, I moved my blanket a little bit because I went a little bit farther. It's just there to create an awareness and an idea for us of where we are in space. Okay, that's 3. We're going to do 3 more. You can continue that variation right there. Otherwise, we'll just move the blanket out of the way. You may have to take your hands down on the band a little bit. From here, you can do legs bent, continue that without the prop behind you. Otherwise, you can reach those legs nice and long. And from here, wide shoulders, take those feet away from you. So reach the feet away as you start rolling yourself back. And you can take your head down. You can always put a prop or a pillow behind the head here. And then from here, I want you to just curl up like we did for the 100. This is our upper ab curl. Press out on the band and reach those feet away from you and down to come up and over. Get a little stretch here. Then let's go right back into it. Bring the arms in, pull the shoulders back, reach the lowest part of your back down to the mat, and then release your head. Go ahead and come to that upper ab curl. Press out on that band as you come up and over. And this is why I said if you're in a larger body, you may want that double band. You may need a little bit more resistance on the way down. So you'll need a band that's twice as long, and then you'll fold it in half. And as you come into your upper ab curl, you'll pull out. There will be a nice amount of tension there as you come up and over. And I know I keep looking behind me. There's a spider that's flirting with coming and visiting me. So, eek. Go ahead and roll back 1 more time. You're going to keep the TheraBand around your feet. And we're going to go into our single leg circle. Now, I'm coming up for just a second. If this is a little bit uncomfortable or you need a little something under your head, you can put your blanket in any shape that you want to and prop your head up a little bit. You want to try and be in a place where you can make your neck nice and long back behind you and open those shoulders up. If your head is dipping too far back, it's not going to be comfortable. So make sure that you're comfortable for these exercises always. Always find your comfort. So we'll come back here and I'll just move this a little bit so you can see. So I'm just putting a little something underneath. I don't necessarily need it, but even just an inch is very, very comfortable. So you have your band around your foot. You're going to bring your arms down to the mat here, a little bit of turnout in the leg that's reaching up. You're going to cross the body, come down and around, and then pull your leg back up. So with your big toe, think that you are making a little circle on the ceiling, just a little circle. You're going to inhale for about half and exhale for about half of your circle. And your circles can range from itty bitty tiny ones, still a lot of work. You're keeping both hips down, to ones that cross over, come down, and reach up. Now, if you're just starting, try and stay right here and keep both hips down equally. Let's go to the other side. We do 5 of each. So we come to the outside, we come down, and we come around. So I'll show some different range of motion here. Still the same breath. Your shoulders are open. You're pressing the top part of your arm into your mat. Your leg that is on the mat here, may need to be bent. I didn't mention that, but you may need to bend this just so you feel a little bit more of your back on the mat. And this is good. This feels really nice. So we'll do that on the other leg. So go ahead, reach up if you can, or you might need to sit up and switch out. I'll have my standing leg, which is the leg on the mat, bent now. I'm going to reach my opposite leg here in the band up. A little bit of turnout again. I'm going to cross the body, come down and around. Again, we're just painting little circles here. Happy little circles. And focus on your breath, having both hips into the mat and keeping those shoulders open. The last one here. And then we'll go to the outside, and I'll stretch this leg long so you can see a little bit of a difference here. So we go to the outside, we come down, we cross the body and pull the leg back up. So if this is too much to have a straight leg, you can slightly bend it and you can come down and around this way. Okay? We call that a hip stir. A hip stir. So you're stirring your leg and your hip, not like a hipster. And then from there, you can go ahead and do a little bit of a stretch. We'll do it on the other side as well. So this is a really nice way for you to stretch out the back of the legs if you don't get to very often. And you can stretch on both legs, or you can wait until the end and do both. You just need a couple of breaths here to make you feel nice and comfortable, nice and stretched out. And then it's good practice sometimes to switch the legs. It's a lot of work to switch the legs. So you just get to pull one in, and I'm showing this on this side so you can see that I have this leg down. This leg down makes me able to just pull a little bit more here because I'm a little bit more comfortable in my middle when my leg is bent. I just get to pull here a little bit. Nice big Pilates breath. A nice big wide inhale, pushing the air back, and then releasing the air below. So from here you can come up however you need to come up. You can use the band to help you get up, just like that. And I made that pretty darn slow. All right, we're going to do our rolling back or rolling like a ball. Now, here's a little something that I like to say for those in larger bodies. I'm going to grab it is a braided towel or just a beach towel that's rolled up. Now, your resistance band will definitely help you with this particular exercise, but the difference between the two is that this has quite a bit of give to it. It stretches. It's meant to, right? We just used it to stretch the back of our leg really nicely. This has less give to it. So when we come to an exercise like rolling back, rolling like a ball, when you go to put this underneath your legs, you may want something that has more tension so that you can try and stay in that same position as we go back. When we have the TheraBand, sometimes it pulls apart and it challenges our stability and our connection. So if you have the much longer band and you don't have a towel that you can use, like the really long one that I talked about, this is a little bit too short, but could work. You might want to triple up that band so that it has less give if you don't have a towel option. So I will show so this is how big my band is. It's not big at all. Okay. You're going to come to the front of your mat and you're going to hold right underneath the legs. Just like this. You can also use your hands, but the idea is that if it's hard for you to grab and hold here, it's sometimes a little bit easier for us to grab something like this than it is to grab part of our body. So you'll be grabbing onto either your towel or your band here, just so that you have something that you can really grip instead of hold. And then you'll pick the legs up. This is sometimes the most challenging things for those in larger bodies. So if you need to press one leg down and rock back and pick up one leg and come back down and then reach the other leg up, and come back down. This is amazing practice. Plus, it tells you what's going on in each side of your body. So you can just hold here and do a one leg mini rock here. Yep. And then you can practice trying to lift both and put both down, and lift both and put both down. So this is how you'll progress yourself. And you may stay with just the one leg for a really long time, and that's okay. Then we pick up the heels even more and we try and rock back on our sacrum, and then we try and come forward. So this is just some balancing stuff. Now, if you think this is so challenging, I may never be able to rock. In some cases, it's actually easier for us in larger bodies to rock than it is to hold this particular position. So open up those arms nice and wide. Elbows out to the side. You're going to pull the lowest part of your body back when you inhale. And then exhale to come back up. And then the first couple, I always say when you're rolling, the first couple hardly ever count because you really have to feel the rhythm in your back. So you can really use this connection. Pull into this prop. Elbows are wide as you come back and forward, and really use that breath. Good. So get to play around with that for the next week or so. And then we're going to come into our one leg stretch. So for this one, sometimes nice to have a prop behind or a prop underneath the head. Okay. I'm going to give a couple of options here. Go ahead and lay back, and you can bring just one leg in, and the opposite hand comes to the knee or the shin, and then this one reaches a little bit long. So from here, you're just going to pull in, and then you're going to stretch the leg out. And then you're going to actively find your leg, pull in, and stretch your leg out. And then do that 3 more times. So this is an option for us here. Inhale, pulse, and take it out. Okay, then we go to the other side. So opposite hand comes to the knee. This one goes long. Inhale, pulse, pulse, reach the leg long. Inhale, pulse, pulse, reach the leg long. And your leg doesn't have to go straight. If you can only go out to about so, go ahead. The idea is how can you pull it in and be more in your center with your leg. Doesn't matter how far we go with leg stretching. It's really all about how are we connecting to our center here. So that's one option. And I'll just do 3 of the regular. So we pulse, pulse, and then we switch pulse, pulse. We switch again, pulsing and pulsing. So you just get to see what we're building towards here. Okay, then we come in. All right, double leg stretch, we'll do them with head down. So you get to reach the legs in. If it's hard for you to grab right here, this is why we have our trusty band. We get to come wherever it's comfortable here. So wherever you feel that you can hold yourself in and really connect to your center, that's what you're going to do with your band. So I'll do 2 with the band and head down, and then we'll progress. So you're going to pull in, and then you're going to reach the legs away and reach the arms up. Pull everything in, really pull in on that band, and then reach the arms back and the legs reach out. Pull in and reach it out. Okay. Now we'll do a little bit of a different variation where we come up, we're going to pull in, and then I'm going to extend a little bit farther and then pull back in. This is where we get eventually, and we pull in and we reach out. I'll do 3 more where I just use no prop. So you've already done your 5, you don't have to do any more. So we reach, and then we circle and pull back in. We reach, and exhale to pull back in. And we reach, and then we pull back in. Now, in order for you to come up, you can take your prop behind a leg or 2 and roll yourself up. Or come up however you need to come up. our spine stretch. So this one is one where just sitting up on something can sometimes be challenging, just getting up and sitting on something. So I highly recommend that you just get up and then you sit in a chair. Sitting in a chair is really, really nice for those in larger bodies. Otherwise, you can pop yourself up on something that's a little bit higher. What this does is it helps us sit tall because we really want to be as tall as possible from our tailbone to the top of our head when we do this particular exercise. So if you're sitting up on a raised mat, you can take your legs off to the side. You can even bend them depending on what you have. Otherwise, you can be in a chair. So from here, I'm sitting nice and tall, have my legs bent. And then let's just go ahead and use this for a little connection. You can have it nice and long. It doesn't have to be much. We're just going to hold it out to the side here. Sit as tall as you can. Toes are pointed up, so that means the feet are flexed when the toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to do a nice big inhale, like the biggest inhale ever. And then as you exhale, you're going to tuck your chin and you're going to start rolling down, exhaling everything out, and come on down. Keeping your arms on your back. That's why we have the prop. And then when you can't exhale anymore, you get to inhale, roll yourself up from the bottom of your spine all the way to the top of your spine. With the breath, this one can be very difficult. Very difficult. So you can take an extra breath in between if you need to. Exhale it down. Keep your shoulders on your back. And then exhale up. Now you'll notice I'm not hinging forward. We're trying to keep our pelvis up as tall as possible, which is why we're sitting on something to try and be as tall as possible. Let's do 2 more. Nice big inhale here. Then exhale. Round it over. Reach. Then pull yourself back up piece by piece. Up nice and tall. Then exhale it out until you can't exhale anymore. But don't pass out on me. Then inhale. Reach it up. Nice and tall. Excellent. You get to stay in the same exact position. If this is too much for you and you were sitting on something, you can always go to a chair now. We're going to go into saw. And for saw, you can definitely use a prop here. What we're doing is our arms are nice and wide, and I have something behind me, so I think I'm going to turn and face this way. So we're sitting in that same exact position we were for our spine stretch. We're still trying to keep that pelvis nice and tall. We're still trying to be in that tallest spine when we start. The arms come out to the sides. If this is too much for you to have your arms out, you can place them right here because it's really just the twisting motion that we're trying to get to. So we first twist and then we try and keep ourselves upright, but we curl over like that spine stretch we just did. Then we pull ourselves back up like the spine stretch. We're just twisted. It's like, it should have been called twisted spine stretch, I think. So then we twist the other way and we come up and over, we round over. We're going to try and keep that opposite hip down as much as possible. Then we pull ourselves up. We're just going to do 3 each side. Twist and reach. As you come up, you're going to inhale and then exhale to twist and reach. Toes are still pointed up. Inhale up to the top. Then exhale to twist and reach, reach, reach. Inhale up. Last one on this side. And exhale it out. And come back up. Nice and tall. We have 2 more exercises to go through. So go ahead and come back down to your mat wherever you were. Now I'm going to fold my blanket up like this. I like to call this one the cozy side leg position. So we're just doing the side kick. We don't have to do a whole bunch of stuff, but I will make another video on how you can do some clamshells in this cozy position. I'm going to place my head on the blanket and lie on my side. So you're going to try and be, again, in a tall spine, but on your side from your tailbone to the top of your head. So you can line yourself up wherever you need to. And then whatever prop you have, yoga block is actually really, really great for this. And I'm realizing I might lose my mic here. So how I like to set myself up is I like to try and make myself as straight as possible first and place my head down here and then have my hand reaching out. Then from there, I pull my legs into the position I want them to be. So in this case, we're just going to be at a 45-degree angle. If the bottom leg needs to be bent, I prefer to pull that up just a little bit to do that. So I'll show that right here. Sometimes this is more comfortable and is a little bit easier to balance. Then from here, we take the leg hip height, we flex the foot, we get to take the leg forward, then we point and reach it back. And the whole time, it's like we have a pull right here going through the hip, and that pull doesn't move as we kick the leg. We're just going to do 5. So we have 3 more. And take the leg back. Flex it and bring it forward and point it back. And flex forward and point it back. Then go ahead, release the leg, come up to the other side, or you can flip over to your other side. I'd like to be facing the camera for all of you. So same exact position here. First, line yourself up nice and straight as you think you can be. And then take this arm right out here. Now, if it's hard for you to be on the side and you saw I had my hand here, you can always get another prop or a yoga block or a ball or something like that and put it right here. The idea is that you have nice open shoulders as if you were lying down on your back. So now that you're straight, you're going to take those legs at a 45-degree angle. Again, that bottom leg, you can pull that up and bend it. What that does is it allows more of your leg to touch the mat, and it gives you a little bit of a better angle to push down on the bottom leg to stabilize you. Reach the top leg up, flex the foot, reach the leg forward, and then take it back. Reach the leg forward and take it back. Yeah, excellent. I just want you to know how amazing I think you are, even if you're just watching this and trying to decide if you want to try any of these Pilates moves. And if you have even done a second of this video, I'm super proud of you for giving it a try, because Pilates, it is hard, but we can make it happen for anybody who wants to try it. All right, let's go ahead and come up. We'll come to our last exercise. Our last exercise is seal. The difference between our seal and our rolling like a ball is pretty much our arm position. I know that looked really weird, but our arm position and really the way that our legs are. So in rolling like a ball, our legs aren't as turned out. And what that means is our knees aren't as open. So the position for seal, the advanced version of it, is to take your hands, wrap them through, and then they come around the ankles or the heels, whatever's comfortable for you. And they can be a little bit higher here. The other thing is you saw how my legs are a little bit more open. So rolling like a ball, we were here, or we may have been here. We practice it underneath. So here we have to open the legs to come into this position. So you can do the same exact thing, just double your band instead of tripling it, unless you have that really long band. You're just going to be wider. So you still want to get that turnout position. So instead of being here, you can be here. But here's the thing, it's a rolling exercise. It's all about control. It's all about your center. You can go back to rolling like a ball. That's what you can do instead of having a little bit more turnout. And you can work on this one later. So I'll come to the side. And I'll do this with the band so that you can see it. And then I'll do a couple with my hands in the regular position. All right. So we're going to be nice and wide. Again, you can do the same thing where you curl up here and maybe you just balance and a little bit more turnout. Maybe it's lifting one leg and putting it down, lifting the other leg and putting it down. I'm repeating this because we did rolling like a ball a little while ago, so you may have forgotten. Then you can put the fronts of the feet together, you can pick them up and you can lower them. You can pick them up and you can lower them. And then we call it seal because we clap our feet together. You open up the thighs and close the thighs. So the feet themselves aren't really clapping. It's not coming from your knee. It's coming all the way up here. You're taking the legs out and bringing them back in. Okay, so we usually clap 3 times and then we roll back and then we come up. Clap, 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 roll back and come up. Clap, 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 roll back and come up. So you can continue that. Otherwise, you can put your hands right here or you can wrap them underneath just like this. Nice wide. Clap, 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 roll it back. Clap, clap, clap. That's a little bit more advanced. Woo! And then you lose your balance a little bit. So that's why it's tricky. Roll it back and come forward. Sometimes you just have to listen to your body. Maybe we clap up. And sometimes when we do that, we have a little bit too much momentum and we come back. So if you're throwing your legs up a little bit, that's okay. Sometimes you just need that in order to get into it. Eventually, we just use the breath and we roll back and come forward. And that's it. That is our level 1 work with just a couple of props. Pilates is so great for the body and it can be really, really challenging. So being able to know how to do these exercises in your body um, is just a huge thing for your personal practice. So I hope that you found a couple of ways that you can think about these exercises and use them in your body today. And if you're a teacher and you're watching this, just to know that these types of variations here are really good for all body types, especially those of us who are in larger bodies. It gives us accessibility, and that's the main thing. I want to make sure that Pilates is accessible for as many bodies as possible. All bodies would be preferred. So go ahead and give these a try, but thanks for joining me today, and I hope that you'll try this video multiple times and play around with some of these exercises, and have a great day.